It started in Mexico City with a cluster of cases, people reporting severe flu-like symptoms, then another cluster in a city nearby, and a few more isolated cases in the south. 20 people have died in the last week, most of them young adults between 25 to 44 years old. It's not clear what killed them, but in this post-SARS era especially, everyone is on high alert.
We absolutely have to remain vigilant in the country around the situation in Mexico and globally. And again, we continue to evaluate what is going on there and work closely with the World Health Organization.
Canada's Public Health Agency has issued an advisory warning health officials to actively look for cases of severe respiratory illness, particularly among those patients who've been in Mexico within the last 2 weeks. About 10 people have been investigated in Ontario alone.
I can't say it's a stagnant number. It's probably changing by the hour as they come. Some come in, some come off.
Still, there's no sign the mystery virus has appeared in Canada. But in a troubling development, a unique type of swine flu has been diagnosed in 7 people in California and Texas this week. The states share a border with Mexico, not far from a town where 2 deaths were reported. The U.S. cases are unusual because it does not appear any of the patients had contact with pigs, and the virus is one health officials have never seen before.
We don't know yet how widely it's spreading, and we certainly don't know the extent of the problem.
No cases of this swine flu have been found in Canada, and if there is a link between the cases in the U.S. and Mexico, Canada's top laboratory will help establish it. Officials here are analyzing 51 samples from Mexico, one of the critical tests, whether any are swine flu. If they are, it could signal the emergence of a new pandemic virus.
We could be technically seeing the tip of an iceberg, and there could be a lot more cases.
Health officials say the speculation won't last long. Within a couple of days, laboratory results will be in, and the picture will be clearer. Joanna Rumiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
Word tonight of a potential health concern. Federal health officials are reporting 7 cases of a strange new kind of swine flu found so far in California and Texas. Our chief science correspondent Robert Bazell is with us from Philadelphia tonight with more on this. And Bob, I know you listened to the news conference. How worried are the feds?
Well, Brian, good evening. The CDC officials are very concerned about this, but they say at this point there is no reason for any kind of public panic. None of the 7 cases have resulted in serious illness or death, but there is solid evidence of person-to-person contact. Now, this is called a swine flu, but there's genetic evidence also of human and bird components to it, and it's exactly that kind of virus that officials have been worried about setting off a possible pandemic, Brian.
And Bob, what do they look for next? What happens next?
Well, Brian, CDC officials and state health officials are going to keep looking for cases, and they expect to find them. They're particularly concerned about what may be happening in Mexico. There have been reports of a massive outbreak of a serious respiratory illness in Mexico. All of these cases occurred in places that are near the Mexican border. And it's not clear at all what's happening yet in Mexico, but the CDC officials very, very seriously want to find out.
All right, Bob Bazell in Philadelphia with the latest on that tonight. Bob, thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Wilma Wooten, W-I-L-M-A-W-O-O-T-E-N. I'm the Public Health Officer for the County of San Diego. We are back here again today to let you know that the CDC has confirmed another case of swine influenza A virus for San Diego. So that brings our total number to 4 and the U.S. total number to 8 of swine influenza A cases. It is highly anticipated that we will, it's not if, but more than likely we will have additional cases of the swine influenza virus here in our county. We are conducting increased or heightened surveillance through our Sentinel clinics and emergency departments. We have 19 Sentinel facilities throughout the various clinics in San Diego, 19 emergency departments, and 3 military facilities. So we have heightened awareness in San Diego, and that really is why we were able to detect these cases initially. We weren't looking for them, and all of our cases have come from these sentinel sites. So what I'd like to do is give you some information specifically about the cases nationwide. There are, again, 8 cases. The ages range from 7 to 54 years of age. 7 of these cases were seen in an outpatient setting. 1 was hospitalized, but that was associated with underlying medical conditions. The person is or immune compromised. So the person that was hospitalized is immune compromised. And these cases, so far, based on our investigation, are not related except for 2 cases that are family members that we reported yesterday. The father, 54 years of age, and his 16-year-old daughter are family members. But otherwise, none of the cases are related. We do also know, based on testing that has already been done by the CDC, that the swine influenza virus is resistant to some of the older antiviral, flu antiviral medications, the amantadine and the rimantadine. But preliminary testing does show that it is sensitive to the newer influenza antiviral medication, Tamiflu and Relenza. So that's some good news. I know everyone is concerned about the fact that there have been many cases reported in Mexico. So far, the CDC this morning reported that preliminary genetic testing does show some similarity between some of the specimens or cases, confirmed cases in Mexico with the U.S. cases. So far, they have 7 out of 14 that have been confirmed for swine influenza A virus. In providing some information about the symptoms for the cases that we have seen here in San Diego and Imperial County have been very mild. The course of the infection has been around a week, anywhere from 5 to 7 days. And again, the symptoms include fever, being tired, headache, or fatigue. Common, regular, usual flu season symptoms. The symptoms that we are hearing in Mexico appear to be more severe, with severe respiratory findings, as well as vomiting and diarrhea. But again, the CDC has not they have not gotten the information about the in-depth case investigation, as well as contact investigations related to those cases. So we cannot give you any specific information about the cases in Mexico. And by the way, those cases are in central Mexico, based on the information that we have so far. So to summarize, I think it's important to let people know that we are concerned locally, obviously at the federal and state level, and WHO at the international level is also concerned, because this is a new virus. It's a new virus that we have just become aware of. We have not detected it previously. So because of that, and because we are seeing cases here in San Diego, we've seen cases in Imperial County, and now it looks like there might be related cases in Mexico, this begs the issue that there is person-to-person transmission. So there is concern to make sure that we, number one, find out about the characteristics of this virus and heighten our surveillance so we can determine whether or not the extent of the person-to-person transmission, how rapidly it is spreading.